Hi, folks. Steve Urban here from the Riderflex Podcast. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by two companies I'm deeply involved with. First up, Robo Reliance, your trusted partner for nationwide robot maintenance and repair, specializing in humanoid and autonomous robots for homes and businesses. Visit roboreliance.com to learn more. And for all your home maintenance needs, there's Cura Home Maintenance of Colorado. From air duct cleaning to dryer vent cleaning to gutter cleanouts and much more. Check them out at curahomeservices.com. And finally, don't forget about the two books we've published in the Riderflex Guide series. The first being the Riderflex Guide, Inspiring and Hiring. This one is targeted at all types of managers and supervisors, anybody that interviews and hires people. And the second one, the Riderflex Guide 2.0, Mastering Job Interviews, designated to help all levels of job candidates prepare for and ace the interview. And now for today's episode. Please subscribe and enjoy.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Alon, and yes, I grew in Israel, in a suburb near Tel Aviv. And when I grew up, I think like anybody, I had the dream of growing up and be like in professional sports.
Ah,
And for me specifically, it was basketball.
really? Okay.
But when you reach the age of 18, you get the realization that you're not going to be 6'6", so you need to quit basketball. You're not going to play in the NBA,
Yeah.
and it's a hard truth. And after that, after I overcame this heartbreak, I went on and was a naval officer.
Yeah.
It's a very hard course. It's over almost 3 years, in order to be the captain of a battleship. But I was lucky enough to meet there amazing people. And long story short, there I met my best friends and my co-founders today.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so we've been through a lot. And after 8 years in the Navy, we went on and created our own private labels. That means that we went to product designers, went to China, met with manufacturers, manufactured some products, shipped them over to the United States, and start selling them under different trademarks, different labels. And this is what we've done for the past 4 years now, doing those products selling mainly on Amazon. And one of the labels we even sold to a bigger aggregator. And since then, there's the exciting part of creating something with your friends and growing the business. And there's the and sorry for the words, but pain in the ass part, where the reality is that some of the processes are so hard to do and are so painful to do. And most specifically is the procurement side in this and distribution side in this type of business. So we went on and said, okay, we have the fun side, but there's always also the pain side. So how about we solve the pain side? Like, let's go out and see if people feel like us from the industry. And they do. So today we transformed into creating solutions in software for the procurement in the industry. And this is today what is called Bazaar AI. Today we transformed into startup, the same co-founding team. And this is what we're doing for the past 1 year.
Did you know that when you were in the service, did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Where did that come from?
Yes, so this is a great question. I think yes. So in the Navy, there are several types of ships or submarines that you can go to.
Okay.
Now, each type has its very own culture and and let's say a behavior.
I see.
And I always wanted to go to the smaller battleships where I'm the only captain. As the ship grows, so there are more captains and there are more, let's say, management roles. Let's say, frame it this way. And I always wanted to be on the place where I am the sole captain and I have my crew. So smaller crews, you run fast. Like I wanted to have
Yeah,
let's say, the control and make things my own way. So I think in a way, it's always something that was seeded in me. And
I see.
after the Navy,
Mm.
when I looked, at the career paths, so the first thing in mind was how do I create something from myself to the world? Like, how do I express myself through products, through services, through whatever? At that time, I didn't know. But how do I give myself expression to the world
Mm.
in a product?
Mm. I got you. Was your dad, was he in the military or was he an entrepreneur at all? Wondering about where some of the influence might have come from your family.
Yeah, so it's a funny story actually. So not connected to the army, but my father is a pilot and my mother is a flight attendant.
I see.
Love is in the air.
She was,
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
know, I'm guessing I know how that story went down. Yeah, they met in the air. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
yeah, no, but the thing is around that is that really I always tell it. My life hack is that through the my dad and my mother, I was able to travel cheap, pretty much freely. And that made me, I'd call it like a global kid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like I
Yeah.
used to travel a lot. I used to see a lot of cultures and traditions. So in a sense, the those experiences allowed me
Yeah.
to dream big and not only see like the narrow, let's say, narrow path that usually when you grow up at some place, so usually go through the same path.
Mm.
And it allowed me to see like the world is big, a lot of interesting people, a lot of interesting opportunities around the world, and it allowed me to dream big.
That's good.
That's for sure.
I appreciate you sharing that. Did you retire? I don't know how the military works over there. If you get 8 years, do you get retirement? Do you get any kind of long-term funding after you serve, or no? It's when you're done, you're done.
Um, no, so only if you serve for like tens of years.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's like going to the pension, but
Yeah.
no, like after you're done, you're done.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand. You started buying and selling products. You started buying wholesale products and reselling them online, basically. Uh, that's how it started, you and your friends?
Yeah, me and my friends, we started off private labels. That means
Private,
that we've created.
I see.
That means that we've created unique products,
Okay.
unique trademark products.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and some of them were good, and this is the story where we sold one of them. But also the sad part that let me tell you that we've opened around six different private labels,
Okay.
and three of them went to the garbage.
Okay.
Because
What
yeah,
was your specialty? Apparel or what were you selling?
so our specialty in a whole was gifting.
I see.
Yeah, and the two main products that went well were flasks. You know what's a flask?
Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah, so a little story behind that is the products that we chose always had some orientation to our own experiences um, and habits. So we used to do and still doing yearly ski trip. I do snowboard.
I see.
And when you snowboard, when you ski, so on the top of the hill, you take a flask. Like it's like a
Yeah.
little. For those who don't know, it's like a little bottle to
Yeah.
carry
Keeps
on
you
whiskey.
keeps you warm.
Yeah, keeps you warm. Yeah, and you stand on top of the mountain, those the amazing views, and you take
Yeah.
the like the winning sip, right? Like it's a
Yes.
victory.
Yeah.
And then we saw that there's a big market here in the United States because there's a lot of activities, like fishing and hiking, and even to the Super Bowl,
Yep.
to football matches, to going to the stadium. So a lot of activities. And the thing is that we saw, and I think there was the first time that we've learned about focusing on problems, by the way, and not the solutions. So I understood that those flasks that are available today, they are made of stainless steel, which hurt the flavor.
Ah, okay.
So people go out and buy a whiskey in $100, and then when they pour it in the flask, it's a sip of $10.
Yeah.
So our whole premise was, why are you like, you should drink the whiskey of $100, like the sip of
Yeah.
$100, not the
Yeah.
$10. So we've created like a premium flask with a enhanced glass and like leather, like it wrapped by leather, like something very
I,
premium.
I see. I see. Okay. All
Yes,
right.
this is one type of like a gift, and it went well for the room parties and for the activities. Just casual, like people that they have their closet with you know um,
Yeah.
with their alcohol. Anyway, this
Okay.
and another one, it is from the gifting department. This is what we mainly sold.
When you, just for the listeners and educating the listeners, so did you go to a manufacturer that made flasks and you said, "Hey, I need it made a certain way, and this is how I want it to look," and then they did it for you, right? So a co
Yes,
not
so, so,
like a co-packer or something, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
yes, so this is actually a very exciting process. This I have to say, because everything we created it from nothing.
Mm.
So basically, and it's funny, when I worked at home and I saw my perfume. Actually, I saw my perfume, and I saw the shape and the whole thing, and I was like, wow, we can really use the design, like take this design and do it, like change the functionality of the same design, right?
Okay.
Because it was slim. You see the liquid inside, like the perfume, but you can see the liquor inside, which gives it like a different experience.
Okay.
And and through that, we created CADs, like 3D models
I
of
see.
what we want to do, and
Do
we
you have a
went to manufacturers
I see. I
and
see.
started creating a mold for us, like
Yeah.
something out of nothing.
Wow. Well, did you have a designer on your team or you had to outsource the design?
We outsourced the design.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
and I think it's a whole another topic of outsourcing and how to choose
Yes.
who you work with, but it's like maybe for a different time or a different podcast.
Okay, so that's how you got started. Okay, very good. And then you, if I understand it right, as you started doing this, you thought, boy, I know there's other people that have products or that have ideas they want to sell online, but they just don't know how to do it. And you wanted to create an easier process, or you wanted to create an easier talk to me how that developed for Bazaar. Tell me what your thought process was.
Yeah, so the key moment here was we realized even before technology, that creating those private labels is very risky. Today, it is very hard to compete. This is the truth. To create your own products, that your own brand, is very, like,
Very
if
hard.
it used to be like a
Yeah.
thousands of dollar process, like let's say $3,000 in order to launch a product. Today, in reality, it's more of 20 to $30,000 in order to really launch,
Wow.
and your chances to survive are very low
Yeah.
because the competition is high, the barrier to entry is low, and the Chinese, like the day you launch, the next day the Chinese come and cut you in half. So then we started to resell, like to do wholesale. That means that we contacted suppliers in the United States and started reselling products, like distribute products. This is what we did. And from there, we learned that those wholesale businesses, those distributors, those um, suppliers, they work in a way that you won't believe. They work with Excel sheets. But like this is how they handle tens of thousands of products in
Yeah.
Excel sheet. And when we needed to find a deal, we had to go one by one, and we thought, okay, this is inhuman. I mean, no way this is how it works today. And you're thinking like, okay, the world, you see ChatGPT, you see other industries that that they are flourishing with technology, right? And we learned that there is an area that innovation didn't just come by itself. So we felt like the ambassadors of the industry. Like we said, okay, we are pretty much young and ambition. So let's do it. Like let's take technology and bring it into this industry,
I
and
see.
bring it back.
I see.
Yeah. So this is and by the way, Bazaar specifically, it is hinted by the name. So Bazaar with the double A. If you're at Bazaar, this is the oldest wholesale marketplace
I see.
in humanity from 1451
I
in
see.
Turkey.
Okay.
And we are B Bazaar with Bazarr with the double R, because we say to the humanity, we say we have to stop wholesaling like it's 1451. Like it's time to wholesale like it's 2025.
That's great. Okay. All right. Very good. And it is for the listeners, by the way. So it is Bazarr.ai, Bazaar.ai is the
Right.
website. Um, so who is your target customer? Like who would come to you? Talk to me about that.
Great. So the idea behind it is the ideal customers are resellers, retailers in general, but you might call them also resellers or the traders.
Okay.
Those are businesses, especially the smaller ones, the smaller to medium businesses that are looking to distribute. So a little, I need to do a little overview
Okay.
so people
Yeah.
understand
Go for it.
why,
Yep.
who are those customers. So in the supply chain starts from the manufacturer or the brand, right? And it needs to reach the consumer. Now, it is impossible for any brand in the world to be everywhere, right? You can't do it. Now, distribution is king, because when you go to a store, let's say you have your own favorite store, you usually, if you went to buy there something and it isn't there, so you won't go out to the store and go to the second one just to bring a specific product. If it's there, you'll buy it. If it's not, it's not. So in a sense, a brand always needs to be everywhere,
Hmm.
but he can't do it alone. So he needs distribution. He needs those retailers, which are authorized resellers of the product, in order to be everywhere.
Okay.
Now, this ecosystem lives by the the wholesaler or the brand. He sells their products in bulks and give a better price, a discounted price to the retailer, and the retailer sends to the consumer where the brand, like the original wholesaler, couldn't reach. So back to the topic, our customers are the smaller to medium retailers, which have hard time to source, to find those deals, because they're not established yet. Like they don't have their connections, or their buying ticket is too low right now because they don't have enough volume to reach to the better deals. So what we do is we group them up and we leverage against the wholesalers.
Ah,
So we open the door, we unlock the opportunity for them, and in return, we split it between the different retailers. And on the other side, for the wholesaler side, so we pretty much take the Excel sheet, and we don't need them to do any change. Like, give us your Excel sheet, we enrich the data, we give it live, like we tag it, we add pictures, like in the back end, right? So in the experience of the retailers, when they type in what they need, the agent, this is the broker I didn't mention, we create an AI broker.
okay.
So it knows to go to the Excel sheet and find and curate the deal for the retailer.
Okay. So if I have, let's say I sell coffee cups. Let's say I sell coffee cups, branded
Mhm.
Riderflex coffee cups.
Amazing.
Um, I already had do I all right, so I got a manufacturer. I bought them I bought them from
Hmm.
a supplier. They branded them for me and everything. They put my logo on it. I got the coffee cups in my garage and I'm trying to sell them. And I'm trying to sell them. I come to you and you
Hmm.
and you put that, where do you put it? Amazon, everywhere else? Where does it go?
Yeah. So when you come to me with your cups, so I put it on the Bazaar platform,
Okay.
and inside there, when a retailer, a reseller, it might be from Amazon, might be from Walmart, it might be from TikTok shops, depends on where the resellers wants to sell.
Okay.
So if he'd like to, let's say he want to send casual items like commodities and this type of range like of prices, and your cups fits his criteria, you'll get matched with your cups, and you're going to sell it as a bulk order. You're going to sell in the 500 pieces, 1,000 pieces for him, and he's going to distribute your brand on the place that you couldn't reach. Like he's going to sell you on TikTok shops, for example, on Walmart, for example.
Mm,
So
I
you
see.
made your sale like 1,000, like on the spot, like 1,000 unit sale, right? And you're also going to be visible on a new marketplace that you couldn't reach by yourself because it's a very hard work to penetrate each market.
So I'm going to get the cups from my wholesale supplier and I'm going to spin it into your system, which then gets resold to the consumer by a reseller.
Correct.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
From the wholesaler to the retailer. Yeah.
How's my margins? Are my margins, if I was selling the cups on my own website, but I
Hmm.
sold them through Bazaar? I'm assuming my margin is smaller through Bazaar. How much does it hurt me? Or
Yeah. So the difference should be around, let's say, if you were to sell on your own, it would be around 20 to 30% margin
okay,
on an average.
okay,
And when you do it through Bazaar, it's going to be between 10 and 15% because you have to keep a margin for the
sure,
reseller.
sure,
The main differentiation is when you sell online, it's around volume. So when you sell, you might sell on a higher margin through your website, but it's going to be less volume because it's a
yeah,
consumer. So they buy one by one, right?
yeah,
When you sell wholesale to someone,
yeah.
so you get the whole cash flow or a bigger chunk, like it's in the hundreds or the thousands of pieces per order.
What does it compare to Amazon if I just sold on Amazon myself? Let's say I know there's two ways to sell on Amazon. I can't remember the names of them right this second, but if
FBA and FBM.
yeah, so if I'm selling on Amazon, but I'm shipping it myself from my garage,
Hmm.
um, versus Bazaar, is it? What are what are the margin comparisons?
Yeah, so in here it's a little bit different, um, because I needed to refine the other side, like the let's say the supply side on our platform. So you as a brand or a wholesaler that sourced many brands, so if you already sell on Amazon, so like direct to consumer from Amazon, so you probably won't need me to resell on Amazon, right?
Okay, okay,
But if you sell on Amazon and you grow this side of your business, your general idea is to become omni-channel. Omni-channel is when you sell everywhere.
yep,
Now it is not possible, I'm telling you, and people from the industry know it. It is not possible to sell everywhere. So if you sell on Amazon and you want to expand, you have two things that you might do. You can go on your own and try to figure out the like Walmart, for example,
Yep.
or you can come to Bazaar AI and find someone which is already in the market. He has his profile, like he has already the reviews, he has the trust from the platform, he knows how to sell there, and you can sell in bulk to him, and he's going to be, let's say, your authorized reseller in the specific marketplace.
If I sell to that person, am I shipping pallets to that person and he's putting them somewhere, or
Co-
what's the distribution?
Correct. Correct. It's you ship to the reseller, and he is now has
Right,
the ownership and the responsibility
right.
in his warehouses, on his logistics. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, very good. Be great if I could get my supplier to just ship directly to him and never come to me. Does it work that way too?
Yeah, so the best way, and we are working with suppliers. So that means that the supplier's work is to source brands, right? And they pile it up in a catalog that I told you it's horrible. So those suppliers, we take their catalogs and upload it to the systems. So when a resellers come, he gets a very seamless and easy way process to create those deals.
Ah,
So in a sense, yes, we connect between the brands and the end consumers, um, and large distribution. Like we make those
gotcha.
suppliers pretty much omni-channel.
It sounds to me like if I sell my cups through Bazaar AI, yeah, my margins are smaller, but I don't have to worry about marketing. I don't have to worry about shipping out single units to consumers. I don't really have to worry about anything. I have it in my garage. I put it on Bazaar. I get notified that I need to send a pallet to ABC company. I send the pallet, I get paid.
Definitely. And the amazing thing, and we came from the brand side, is but at the end of the day, when somebody sells your product, it's your product. I mean, it's your name. So that means that you've reached a customer that you could never reach him
Yeah,
because of Bazaar.
yeah, yeah. It sounds perfect for especially if you have a coffee cup with 80% margin in it, and then you're good to go because you're still making money after after everybody else gets paid. Okay, very good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me tell you something about it, by the way.
Go ahead.
Even talking about the margins, and let me tell you a perspective why even if you sell on a very tight margins, in the long run, why you should do it. So I think that a concept that is overlooked, I think, no, underlooked, I think, is brand recognition and and retention in the world of commerce. So I think that most people don't realize that the money is made by the retention, not by new sales.
Mm,
And what I mean by that is that if somebody comes into a store, buys one unit, and he never come back, and he won't tell anyone about it, so your business won't is not going to thrive. But let's say that you put the money in and you distribute it on a very tight margins, but people are getting exposed to your product, they like your product, and then they're going to come back to your store. This is where the money is at, like growing the customer pool.
I
So
got you.
you can see it a little bit like even a marketing initiative
Yeah,
and expanding your brand,
yeah.
even if it's tight margins in the
Now,
beginning.
I'm assuming I don't have control over the final retail price. If I'm selling the cups for $9.99 on my website, once I sell it to a supplier on Bazaar AI, they might do a different retail, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, that's okay. All right, very good. How big is the company? How long you been alive? Are you raising cash? What? Give us the scoop.
Right. So right now, as you're speaking, the company has been live for 1 year.
Wow.
We actually are about to close right now our pre-seed on $1 million.
Good for you. Awesome.
Yeah, we already raised most of it, and yeah, I guess by the time it airs, so we already closed it.
Ah, nice.
And yeah, and we are part of the AI program of Google for startups,
Ah,
which means that we are entitled for their, $350,000 on their cloud and get
okay.
offices from them, like a great initiative by Google. So all in all, we've finished the MVP phase, where we
Nice.
pretty much, and I really say it with a little shame, like we created really a better Excel. This was our MVP pretty much. Like we created a better Excel, and we after we saw that even through that people like around 50 customers paid for this Excel sheet. So we took it back, and we brought the developers, and right now we are about to launch the product, like the complete product. And by the way, the demo is out there already. You can see it on YouTube, how it's going to look at around the end of this month.
Very good. Well, congratulations on the progress, speedy progress too, by the way. 1 year. I mean, that's you're moving fast. Congratulations. Uh,
Thank you.
and the raise, did it come from one partner in the in San Francisco, or where did it come from?
So there's a VC from LA and Israel. It's called
Ah,
Fusion VC.
I see.
They're the in Israel. They're the YC equivalent.
I see.
It's like an accelerator. So they put the first check in,
Great.
and after that, we were able to raise from smaller VCs and angel investors, amazing people. We also have, I can tell, he's in our advisory, and he's also going to participate. A very um, critical, or let's say one of the top industry leaders in the
Great.
world,
Great.
from the domain, which is in the cap table.
Nice.
We're going to reveal it on our seed round, which is anticipated by year end.
Very good. Well, congratulations, man. I'm happy for you. Sounds like you're making a lot of traction very quickly. Good for you. I bet you'll be glad when you start getting paid, when you can actually pay yourself. I'm guessing you haven't been paying yourself much lately.
I'm going to be honest, and I think that if there are any entrepreneurs listening, so prior to that year, to the year that we've started the company, so it was, let's call it the ideation phase.
Yeah.
And during the ideation phase, I moved to Fort Lauderdale with my co-founder, and we are at the time we are 28 years old, living in a family house in the same room. Two guys, 28, living in the same room, because we couldn't take money and anything, but we really believed in the cause. And yes, and today it's a ramen profitability. Like we only take what we need.
Yeah, good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
Congratulations on everything. I appreciate you being on the show. Would love to have you back after you guys get even further down the road. And I'll keep an eye on it. For the listeners, Bazaar AI, so it's Bazarr, Bazaar AI is where you can learn more. Um, thank you, sir. I'm going to keep an eye on you guys. I think you definitely got something here.
amazing, Steve. And thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely.